So, Dad, how can we make America better?
Well, honey, we got to make sure that everybody counts and that everybody matters. And that's why we need to have peace be the guiding principle of our nation. We need to make sure that everybody has health care, and we have to make sure we have economic justice so that everybody can take care of their family. And my name is Keith Ellison, and I authorize this message.
I feel very fortunate because I got to know Keith in 2004 when he was a member of the Minnesota legislature. He used to hold weekly meetings in North Minneapolis. It was really remarkable. He would bring people in to talk about various issues of the day, the Iraq War, single-payer health care. He actually wanted to hear people's struggles, people's challenges. He wanted to hear their hopes and their dreams.
Keith and I served in the Minnesota House of Representatives together. We were elected in the same year, 2002. That very first year, our offices were right next to each other, and we sat on the House floor right next to each other. And I remember one day, one of our colleagues made a comment that I think could really be termed as having racist and homophobic overtones. And before that colleague was even finished speaking on the House floor, Keith literally jumped out of his chair to object, to say to the speaker, "This is unacceptable."
His values are firm. I mean, his love for the world is constant. But he actually would use the voice of the people. Everybody counts, everybody matters is not just a slogan. It was a contested endorsement battle in 2006, and I believe the reason that he won the endorsement was because he's an organizer, basically, and he's built relationships, he's built trust with people, he listens.
It was an honor when he asked me to do his endorsing nomination speech for him with Senator Alan Speer. And I remember the message I gave to people in that crowd and the delegates is that Keith will be a bulldog for us in Congress. And not only has he met that expectation, he's become a leader, not only in our nation, but around the world.
One of the things that I'm most proud of in my career is helping to see that he could get elected. Little did I know that 10 years hence, that Keith would be a big force to be reckoned with at the state level, at the district level, and at the national level.
We have a strong advocate, someone who believes deeply in progressive values, who's emerged as a national leader on these things, who gives voice to so many of our aspirations, who's given expression to so many issues that people care about. And what Keith has uniquely done more than any other elected official is he's reached out and involved people in the work of organizing, in the work of politics, in the work of developing good public policy.
He's fought to really build up a movement of putting voters first and building this community up of really passionate political activists.
He's really good about being inclusive and understanding the needs of a wide range of community members, not just a select few.
He cares about students and he cares about getting students involved, and more than just using us as a volunteer base, he really cares about getting us involved at every level.
He really digs into understanding what those issues are for those specific communities and then brings them up to the surface.
When the voter restriction amendment was put on the ballot in 2012, he was leading the charge against it, right? He was the first elected official, the first person to come to us who were working on the ground and said, how are we going to beat this thing? Not can we beat this thing, not if we're going to try to beat this thing, how are we going to do it?
We need everybody to feel welcome here, included, and have all the opportunities that everyone has. And so that is something really important that Keith has brought through his leadership position in Congress.
Keith, thank you so much for being a consistent, passionate voice for change.
For being a fierce advocate for issues surrounding racial and economic justice.
For empowering students and young people.
For being you, for being real.
For the work that you have done for the seniors of our state.
For keeping Minnesota blue.
Thank you, Keith.
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 Thank you. I thank you for your mentorship. I thank you for your leadership. Let's keep going. Let's keep building the movement.